Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
I'm the inspirational Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And remember, never mess around on stripper poles.
Coming up, huge names confirmed for the Saudi Arabia show in June.
WWE treating Dash Wilder like an absolute fanny.
Another update on Lio Rush's backstage heat.
The latest NXT TakeOver card.
And a big change in NXT. This is the news.
We're going to start things off with a rather upset, disgruntled, major WWE female star who is not best pleased at missing out on this year's Money in the Bank ladder match. So, Adam Wilborn, who do you think this is and why is it Sasha Banks?
Yeah, exactly. It should be Sasha Banks, although I'm still got a feeling in the pit of my stomach that Dana Brooke isn't making it to Money in the Bank.
It's not Sasha
but when
Banks.
you told me this name, I went, excuse me?
We are, of course, not talking about Sasha Banks, although I can't imagine she's best pleased about not being on TV. Now, even though it's kind of her own creation. We're talking about Lana. Lana, of all people, is really, really upset about not being part of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So she tweeted on Tuesday morning, I will tell myself don't lose hope when my dreams don't come in the package and timing I want. Because at the end of the day, isn't it better to dream so big and achieve half than not dream at all and achieve nothing? Now, she has since spent the past few days retweeting fans who are like, oh, why are you not in the match? I'm so upset you're not in the match and all this stuff. She's been tweeting about Money in the Bank with hashtag salty, and she has also been tweeting weird things about how Sonya Deville in kayfabe decided to give her spot over to Mandy Rose. It's all very, very weird. Now, not to fully discredit Lana here, she's one hell of a manager.
Yeah.
She has worked hard, certainly, to improve her skills in the ring. But like in kayfabe terms, she's certainly bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
You can make the same argument for Dana Brooke. But Dana Brooke wrestled Ronda Rousey lately. It's not like Lana is standing up to Becky Lynch and Charlotte every week. Bit of a weird one, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if anyone can be pissed off about not being in the Money in the Bank match, it's Sonya Deville.
Yeah,
because
who's actually really, really good.
But what was she meant to do? Mandy, one of us is going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and that one of us is Lana. Like, doesn't make any sense. And like Money in the Bank, all jokes aside, is a very dangerous match to be involved in. They're going to do really complicated spots. They want to basically compete with just how good the men's Money in the Bank ladder match is, and that always has ridiculous spots in it. And as we've seen with certain ladder incidents over the years, bad things can happen. So surely this is more of a precautionary measure rather than sort of punishing her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go and look at her cage match profile and stuff, you can see every single match she's had in WWE. It's not a lot, and most of them are like big multi-person tag matches. So it's probably for the best. Understand her frustration at not being a featured performer on TV, but it's also worth pointing out that Rusev and Lana love using social media to work the fans on the internet. There's every chance that she's just kind of dropping a little patter grenade in the middle of the room, letting it explode, and sitting there at night looking at all these mentions going, haha, look at these morons. So don't rule that out. Either way, it's kind of funny.
It is very funny. Moving on now, as you may have heard yesterday, WWE are heading to Saudi Arabia on June 7th to Jeddah's King Abdullah Sports City Stadium. Can never remember the full name of that. And it has been confirmed that Goldberg will be wrestling alongside Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Some huge names. We're also going to see the likes of Universal Champion Seth Rollins, WWE Champion Kofi Kingston, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and AJ Styles. But yeah, Goldberg, despite sort of semi-retiring after WrestleMania 33, has been brought back by that dollar.
I love the kind of nonchalant way that they kind of announced Goldberg's appearance. They were like, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Goldberg, he's also going to be there. It's kind of weird, but I really enjoyed the press release. I love Goldberg, and like, while I kind of want to sit here and be cynical about the Saudi Arabian shows for reasons we've covered several times in the past, I'm just kind of happy. Is he Goldberg? Like, I love the guy.
It is one of those things, isn't it? Look, there's obviously some problems with the shows in Saudi Arabia, as we've covered on numerous occasions. But WWE sort of balance it out with just wave after wave of banter and big names. It's just, we know it's bad. But look, Goldberg's back, and Brock, and Taker. So
I mean, I'm sure by the night of the event I'll be all angry because of all the obvious reasons. But at the same time, it'll be kind of nice to see Bill, like, the way he went out, they kind of buried his retirement promo on like a dark Raw segment, which was a really weird thing to do. And if you read his interviews and stuff from his previous comeback, his previous run, he just seemed very, very grateful and like overwhelmed to have the opportunity to do this again. He comes across like a really, really nice guy. Either way, the Saudi Arabian show is probably going to be the weirdest pay-per-view of the year. It always is. Crown Jewel was absolutely hilarious, lest we forget Shane McMahon winning the World Cup to determine the best in the world, a gimmick he is still hanging on to as part of his new heel character. I'm sure we'll get something equally barmy come that next event.
Cannot wait.
Can't wait. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next topic, and that is The Revival, a tag team we've spoken about a lot lately. Well, we reported a few months ago that their contracts are set to expire in April 2020. We now know that they have rejected a big money extension, and it looks like WWE are already taking that out on them, because not only did they have the duo start in that weird back shaving segment on Raw this week, but they have also extended Dash Wilder's contract by 2 more months. This is owing to the 2 months he missed via injury in 2017 when I believe he suffered a broken jaw. He had the thing wired shut and so forth, and the Revival's momentum kind of tapered off after that. So this really, we've seen this with Luke Harper as well. They've extended his deal by 6 months. We saw it with Rey Mysterio in the past when he was trying to get out of a contract but spent a long time on the injury shelf. It's something that WWE write into their deals. It's pretty gross, it's pretty immoral. It's quite petty as well to call back on a 2-month injury from 2 bloody years ago. But, I mean, it's legally sound, I guess.
Yeah, it's becoming a very WWE thing to do, to be like, hang on, it just says here that you took a holiday 4 years ago, so we'll be taking back a month for that, so you can't leave until 2025
you
now.
Stupid git.
Yeah, it's weird that I get it, that they're not there, so they're technically not working, but they're also injured. You shouldn't punish someone for being injured.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of topics you can dive into with this. Obviously, the independent contractors debate is an ongoing one. There was the fantastic Brandon Howard Thurston, who covers WWE finances, probably with a better degree of credibility than anyone else on the internet, recently did a bit of research and revealed that WWE talents, these independent contractors, only earn something like 8% of the company's turnover, when in other sports that number is somewhere to 47 to 50%, which is ridiculous. There's all kinds of things you can dive into with this, but the bottom line is WWE are just kind of being fannies.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah.
Moving on, you may have heard, well, we've been reporting quite a lot, all these stories about backstage heat for Lio Rush, and Lio Rush has provided another update when he was speaking in an interview with Fightful Select. Obviously, we've heard sort of differing reports, backstage reports that everyone is pissed off at him saying, look, I'm just trying to achieve my dream here and responding to it on social media. And now in this interview, he said a lot of the reports anyway, are coming from someone who was with Ring of Honor while he was there and, quote, has hated me since the day I've worked for ROH, and now that they work for WWE, they're leaking false information to get me released. Scandalous.
Yeah, this is really, really nasty stuff. Like, the Fightful interview is really good stuff. I would encourage anyone to check it out. He does a real deep dive on everything that's going on, and it really contextualizes some of the recent incidents. He also says that there's no problems between him and Finn Balor, which was previously reported, and there are no problems with him and his wife being backstage during certain incidents. It's kind of hard to separate the wheat from the chaff with this at the moment. There is so much stuff going around, and it's all really conflicting. Lio, to his credit with these interviews and the Facebook or the Instagram post he made the other day, comes across really well.
He's handled it well, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. I mean, the guy's only 24 years old, but he's really putting forward a good impression of himself, certainly one that counteracts these reports. At the moment, I don't think it would be particularly responsible of us to comment on anything in particular. No. So we should probably just say, let's hope that this thing all resolves itself in an agreeable situation. Lio gets back on television and everyone's happy. Yeah,
exactly. Just get back to being the 24-year-old piece of gold, Lio.
Did you know that Lio Rush does those cameo vids for $20? Might get one of those hooked up. Anyway, moving on to NXT. Last night, saw the latest set of TV tapings, during which the next TakeOver event was announced for the 1st of June, which was originally planned for the 8th of June, so it's been moved around to avoid a clash with the Saudi Arabian show. Now, big spoilers here. If you don't want to know what happens on these TV tapings, you are not going to want to listen to this segment.
2 minutes.
So, I'll give you 3, 2, 1... Okay, let's dive into the TakeOver card. These are the matches that came together during the tapings. We have 2 match announcements. The first is for the NXT title, Johnny Gargano in a rematch of that instant classic in New York, defending the belt against Adam Cole. No word on the stipulation. The second official match,
really like this,
revolves around the tag team titles. The Viking Raiders, they have had to obviously let go of the titles because they're on the main roster now. This led to a bunch of teams brawling, so we are getting a 4-way tag title match, potentially with ladders involved, between my guys, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, the Street Profits. I have lost the other teams, that isn't that very professional. The Forgotten Sons, of course, and the Undisputed Era team of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Awesome all-action tag. Now, there are other matches that have been rumoured and look likely based on the stories that they're telling on these tapings, but haven't officially been put together, and they are Tyler Breeze, awesome, challenging Velveteen Dream for the North American title.
Imagine the promos for that.
Imagine the promo battles. Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai, women's title, and Kushida, the new star who debuted last night, against Drew Gulak.
Good, fantastic way to introduce him to people. Obviously, he debuted, as you mentioned there. We've worked with him. I know how fantastically talented he is. And working with someone like Drew Gulak is perfect, isn't he?
I think that's an awesome little card. The whole thing rules from top to bottom. Drew Gulak, of course, he's stuck on 205 Live, but go back and watch that match he had with Matt Riddle earlier this year. It's absolutely fantastic from NXT TV. And I have absolutely no doubt that him and Kushida are going to have an absolute technical banger on TakeOver.
Sticking with NXT, the final news story of today is the fact that Beth Phoenix has joined the NXT announce team, replacing Percy Watson. No word on what this means for Percy Watson's future with the WWE. But I really like Beth Phoenix on commentary, and I think she's going to do good things.
Yeah, I think she's done a really great job in all of her guest spots. She, of course, did the Mixed Match Challenge. She has stepped in for a number of other matches over the past couple of years since she was added to the Hall of Fame in 2017. I think this is a good move. Percy, talented guy, seems like a nice guy backstage, but kind of didn't really add all that much, I think it's safe to say, on the NXT booth. Ronaldo is the most popular commentator in the company. Nigel McGuinness does a great job as well. Sometimes it felt like poor old Percy was just kind of a spare part, and that's a real shame because he does seem like a real positive guy.
The amount of times he'd say stuff and Mara would be like, yep, I just said that.
Yep, congratulations on repeating me, brother. So good luck to Beth. She's done a tremendous job in the past. We've of course seen Renee Young as a commentator on NXT before, so she becomes the second female to occupy that place in the booth, at least on a full-time basis. I'm looking forward to seeing what she can pull off.
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. Don't forget you can tweet them at us at WhatCulture WWE. We start with a question from Kelly Jenkins, who says, what would you all like to see from Matt Hardy while Jeff is out with an injury? A credible solo run is my only hope.
Man, this injury really sucks. I was looking forward to that run, and on a human level, it's kind of a shame to see a popular fan favourite bite the dust like that. Nice little upper mid-card run, perhaps. Maybe challenge for the what belts on SmackDown now, the Intercontinental title. Fit into that division, kind of fulfill the same kind of level as your Randy Ortons and your Andrades and everyone else. I think that'd be a good role for him.
And for someone like Matt Hardy, I don't want to dismiss him in any way here. I don't want him to be overworked. I don't want him to arguably be wrestling on every single pay-per-view. We know the history of problems that he's had, and I still want to keep him relatively fresh for when Jeff comes back, because we all want another Hardy Boys nostalgia run.
Absolutely.
Next question today comes from DS Emmanuel on Twitter, who says, who do you think is most likely to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and who do you want to win it?
I think Drew McIntyre is most likely. I would say Braun, but they did that whole thing last year and it didn't really work. But Drew is one of their guys. Who would I like to win it? Probably, I say this all the time when we get questions like this, but my man Andrade, it's got to be, he's
not even Baron Corbin, you've overlooked
Baron. Yeah, Baron Corbin would be absolutely hilarious, but I'm going to be earnest for a change and not go for the banter pick.
I'm going to go with Andrade as well as who I'd like to win it. I think he'd be fantastic, and I just want to see gold around that man's waist, but also 6 months with that briefcase, maybe even defending it against people challenging him for it, just because I described it as sort of akin to a mid-card title walking around with that briefcase, and it just re-establishes in the eyes of the fans that you are a title contender. I think they might try and do a do-over with Braun Strowman and put it on him again.
I could see that.
I'm inclined to believe that Drew McIntyre will be the one who gets it, because he just is the perfect sort of, with two babyface champions, him just standing in the shadows waiting for them to have an exhausting match.
For your title
I'm going to brutalize you. Something like that.
I will claymore you because I am tall.
But I think there's a few people you can sort of rule out. I don't think Ricochet's going to win it.
Pew, pew, pew. Nah.
Or Aleister Black, as much as I love him.
Finn's got the IC belt. Yeah, Baron. I could actually see them doing Corbin just to annoy people.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, Andrade. Final question today comes from Jason P, who says, which current WWE superstar do you feel would benefit most from pulling a Sami Zayn? I know what you're thinking, what's a Sami Zayn? That is time off from TV and return as a rebranded character.
Oh man, that's really interesting. My first choice isn't going to be particularly popular. It's AJ Styles. I think he's really kind of stale. I know he's kind of like a sacred cow, and we're not really supposed to criticize him and so forth. But like character-wise, I don't think there's anything particularly interesting about AJ Styles. I think he's fine on the mic. He's a fine character. He's all right. He's a phenomenal wrestler, obviously, top 3 in the company permanently. But I don't know, man. Like this kind of determined, gritty babyface, I don't think it really works. The don't rest, don't rush thing is rubbish. I think he could use a lick of fresh paint. I don't necessarily think he needs like an over-the-top gimmick, but it'd be cool to see him reinvented somehow.
For God's sake, just pair him with the club and make us all happy again.
Absolutely.
They don't need to take any time off TV, have him lose against Seth, maybe even have Seth cheat to beat him at some point. I really want Seth to turn heel, but if that's not the case, turn AJ Styles heel and have the club back him up and just go back to that good old beat up John Cena shtick that they had a few years ago. My pick is Bobby Lashley. Because, I was thinking, what has Bobby Lashley been doing recently? He beat up The Miz, but that's not going to lead to anything because it's going to be The Miz versus Shane in the steel cage, of course, at Money in the Bank. And he's just kind of there at the moment. He tried to boast about the fact he was Intercontinental Champion and everyone went, nah. They sort of just pop that on people willy-nilly. So I think have him go away for a few months and just come back and murder people. Have a real plan for what you want him to do for the next 6 months when you bring him back. And you can still make him the monster and make him the guy that he was in TNA. Because when he was being brought in and rumoured to be brought in, people got really excited, and now he's just there.
Yeah, he's just kind of there. They don't really showcase his freak athleticism too much, which is kind of annoying. Like that assault course he did last year was awesome, and like he looked really cool in that Finn Balor squash at WrestleMania.
You could even have packages of him working out. I know how much Vince would love that.
Look at the muscles.
God damn it.
I think one of the biggest problems with Lashley is that they just make him wrestle like this boring wrestle goober, like every other heel on the roster. When in Impact, he was having, like, he certainly wasn't like Kazuchika Okada out there, but he was having these mental, athletic, showing off his beastly strength and stuff. Like, that's what you need to do. Bobby Lashley can be a really fun performer if you just let him be. Let the wrestlers wrestle.
Indeed. Right, let's move on to today's and finally, and no prizes for guessing what it is today. Right, it's time to show it off.
Here he is.
There you go. Yeah. That is what happens when you get on a stripper pole. I will never make fun of a wrestler getting injured again. Apologies once again to Liv Morgan. I have broken my toe. I have to wear this moon boot and walk around like a knockoff bloody Thanos in the office.
You'd hear him stomping around the office. It's horrendous.
Yeah, so the good news is it is healing, and in 4 to 6 weeks I'll be back spinning around that stripper pole like nobody's business.
Oh, wow.
There's a nice mental image for you.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on that. And all of today's news stories in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and let us know your Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE, where you can follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for holy.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. I said you can follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. My thanks to Andy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.